Because I'm not gonna take a shit anymore. I've watched you be a very, beautiful, at times naive, while he is gaslighting you, while he is manipulating you. And as a man in your life, I can't stand to be around that anymore. I don't even want your brother coming to our wedding. I don't even want somebody wasting the flash in their camera on your brother and Melissa.
Damn.
If you saw me standing in a palace, in a snake pit, would you pull me out of it?
Of course.
I'm pulling you out of the snake pit. Leave them in the snake pit.
Man, what did he do to make them niggas that mad?
What's up, y'all? It's Brian Keith, and I'm back with another video. Today, we're gonna be talking about episode 14 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. This episode was a filler, very much that, and it's gonna be a short review just because we're just gonna go ahead and get it over with. I just left the gym. I'm kind of irritated just because somebody there that works there I'm not vibing with right now. Thank God next week is the last episode. It's the finale. Lord, this season, it's been a decent season, don't get me wrong, but it's just so much toxicity with this family. I am so done with the storyline.
But the storyline for me has run stale.
For them to move forward, we got to get rid of this storyline. For real, like, I'm over it. But y'all, like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
Yeah, let me check my shit real quick. Hotter than the fire coming out my flaming lips. You wanna play with me? You can't play in me. On the playground, bitch, you can't play with me. Got it, want it, securing the bag, best.
All right, so the episode starts out with we're all at Margaret's house, and Margaret's basically hosting Jen Fessler's mom and her twin, and Margaret's mother as well. So they're all there, kicking. First of all, with Jen, like, she over here said that she slept with dude from The Godfather. She over here, her mother's and her aunt was over here best friends with Barbara Streisand. Like, I feel like Jen low-key could have been, like, that girl if she would have been a little bit more messier and a little land on the spot, but whatever. But my whole thing is, like, when they're over here talking, why do they keep bringing up Melissa, Teresa, and then Danielle?
A nice girl, but she's going through something with her brother.
She was just, every time Melissa and Teresa, they have their own issues, they would talk about their issues. Oh my God.
I feel like with Margaret, like, everybody else's storyline is based around Danielle or based around Teresa and Melissa. Y'all steady bringing them up like it's your business, and it's not. So they're all talking about, well, Danielle is so immature. She's over here coming for me all the time, talking about her brother, and it's just this and the third, right? And then talk about Teresa, how Teresa is so hypocritical about how she wants family, but she treats her family horrible.
Doesn't work. Teresa's always saying, all I want is family, to be together. But then she wasn't included in the shower. No.
And I see a lot of people on Twitter and up and down, they talk about, oh, well, it's Melissa's fault. Oh, it's Teresa's fault. It's Joe's fault. And they keep going out, it's Louis' fault. This and the third, going back and forth. And I'm just like, y'all don't realize it's all of them fault. All of them are to blame to where they're at. Teresa do a lot of stuff that she try to act so nicey. My brother doesn't love me. He da. And I'm just like, girl, you're in this situation because you're an active participant. And then with Melissa and Joe, it's like, y'all always want to play the victim. And just like, well, we try. And then they be doing shady stuff. Both sides be doing shady stuff. I'm just like, what are we talking about? It's a act. All of them are participants in the bull, right? So we basically see Dolores and Paul. They're having dinner and everybody's there. So Frank, Brittany, and the kids. So they're all there celebrating on Frankie getting his job. So it's his dream job, this and the third. They talk about how hardworking both of the kids are, and I thought that was really good. I think this is the first time that Paul and Frank really sat down to talk. So it gave Frank another perspective of, Paul. Like, he's a cool dude. He came from Ireland, came over here at 23, was a receptionist, and he worked himself up to this wealthy person persona that he is now. Like I said about Dolores, one thing I don't like about Dolores is that she is always going to be my man. She's like, yeah, I can't wait for you guys to come to the house that I'm staying at right now. It's so nice. It's so I'm just like, girl, you want to be a kept woman so bad. And don't get me wrong, cool, girl. I'm cool with that. If you find a man that's going to keep you, cool. But Paul said, let's have an Irish party. Let's throw this party. It's going to be really good. Like, just to have everybody there, and, everybody's agreed. And Frank's just like, so when you going to get engaged to, have y'all looked for rings? Are you getting engaged? And Paul's like, are you and Brittany getting engaged? What's going on? And Frank's like, I asked first, so what's going on? So Paul's like, I already got the ring, so it is what it is. Now everybody's like, oh my gosh. Dolores in there like, yeah. She geeked. So I'm just like, okay, cool. But you know, they all end on a positive note, and I think this is like, you know, a good dynamic for them moving forward, right? So Teresa and Lou are outside. They talk about wedding plans, and you know, Teresa's comparing her family to Louis' family. She's like, you know, Louis' family has been so nice to me. They have been so great. Oh my gosh, my family's just the worst.
Your brother would have found something wrong with it. It's really true, Teresa.
I feel really bad. Like, I don't want him hurting you anymore.
Yeah, but you know what it's like for me to be calm and last.
You got Louis calling them trash, and I'm just like, with Teresa, the way that you dog your family out is just low-key, just low. And I'm just like, yes, Melissa Joe have done some crazy stuff in the past and currently, but my whole thing is, if you're trying to move forward, you don't act like you're trying to move forward, one. And then two, Louis' family is still in the representative phase, so they're still giving you their representative. Nothing major has happened for them to chop your head off. So I always feel like when everybody is in kumbaya mode, everything's gonna be cool. But once you start going ham, and once something happened that they don't like, that's how you see how people handle it. Like
Trash. That does that. I'm sorry.
Poor guy, he's been taking it, and I feel horrible because it's my family. Like, I'm embarrassed.
ham. But you know, Teresa's talking about, you know, I text Melissa about coming to the wedding rehearsal, and she's like, Melissa didn't respond back. Joe said he's not coming. And my whole thing is, Teresa, why do you expect them to come and support you? If at this moment they're coming to the wedding, so I'm just like, that should have been enough. And then if Melissa and Joe is not in the wedding, why would they come to the rehearsal? All it is going to be you throwing it in their face that they're not in it. So I don't know. Sometimes Teresa is very much delayed, but like I said, the way that she describing her brother is just like, them calling her trash and all that stuff is crazy. But we go over to Danielle's house. She talk about her bougie kids with her mother.
What makes me so sad is that we're talking about him. Daddy's trying to fix it. Everyone's talking to him. He just doesn't want to fix it.
And the topic of her brother comes up, and I'm over it. I'm over it. Girl, I get that you over here feeling bad about your brother. This, that, and the third. Cool. But you have spent 12 episodes talking about this whole brother topic, and I haven't seen you call him on camera. I haven't seen you text this man on camera. I haven't even sent an email or a motherfucking Harry Potter bird chime. What are we doing? So at this point, I'm just like, the brother got a baby. We didn't see you text him. Like, my whole thing is, you want him to reach out to you. Have you reached out to him? You brought the storyline up now, so have you reached out to him to try to facilitate something back and forth? You're talking about the mother and your dad's trying to facilitate it, but he's not even talking to the mom. So I'm not saying that who's right or who's wrong, but at the end of the day, you can't sit up here and say that, well, you know, he's not trying to talk to me, but it don't look like you're trying to talk to me either. But I'm just saying. Jennifer, she's basically helping her brother and her sister that moved from Turkey, move into their new apartment that she helped them get. She knows the owner of the building, and she got them a good rate. The apartment was very nice, and they're very thankful. You know, she was like, they're like crying. She's like, thank you so much, Jennifer. You really helped us out, blah, blah, blah. And then they sit down on the couch, the brother. So the wife is basically going, and she's getting, you know, settled into the building and settled into the apartment. So she's like, well, you know, your wife told me that you don't spend that much time with her. You come from work, it's really late, and And then she's like, that's what Bill does to me. Bill does this to me. And she basically took this time, this moment for them to move in, that could be a happy moment, and made it about her. I'm just like, girl, at the end of the day, you want Bill to go to therapy, you want Bill to do this. Why don't you do this? Why don't you go to therapy on your own? Figure out how to fix yourself, because how can you fix somebody else when you haven't fixed yourself? So fix yourself first and try to figure out where your triggers and tics are. Then get him to do it by himself. Maybe he don't feel comfortable talking to you in front of the therapist. And then after y'all both do therapy like that, then come together and do joint therapy. Because obviously something ain't clicking, and at the end of the day, it could just be contrived for a storyline, but who knows? Because every time they talk about it, Bill look like he want to bust out laughing. So we're at Rachel's house, and she talks to Jaden about, you know, wanting to adopt him. She's like, you know, I want to adopt you, but, you know, be honest with me. Like, if you don't want it to happen, you don't want it to happen. Like, I can take that. I just want to know right now.
Fight to not have me adopt you.
She could do that. She could, even though she already lost full custody, she could come back.
Not easy.
So he's like, no, I want you to adopt me. Like, I see you as my mother, and that's just what it is. Woo, 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 woo. So in the after show I looked at, we found out that actually they served the mother. The mother didn't respond within the allotted time that they had, and you know, they got to adopt Jaden, so that's her son. So you know, congratulations to Rachel and you know, her family. So yeah. So everyone's trying to get ready for the Irish party, and you know, the Gorgas sit down, they FaceTime Frank. And one thing about Frank can't hold water. Like, why are you telling Dolores his business in the first place, especially to Melissa? You talk about, she Paulie got a ring for Dolores. He said you already got picked out. They might engage at the party. You know, I'm just like, it's none of your business. Like, why? And then let's say it could have been a surprise for everybody. You just spoiled the surprise. Like, you just running your mouth. Frank, he already doing too much. Been doing too much, crying. Like, sir, you talking about, I'm happy that my family dynamic is coming back. You gotta realize people grow, and Dolores already says she wanted boundaries, and she's gonna continue to set those boundaries. And Paul seems like he is not playing with you. None. But moral of the story with Frank, mind your business. So we jump over to Margaret, and she's talking about the whole Laura situation. She feel like Jennifer's still talking to Laura, and she is. And she basically talks about, you know, the whole Danielle at the baby shower. She's like, you know, Danielle tried to confront me at the baby shower. I'm at the bridal shower. And when we look at the flashback, she really didn't confront you. Y'all sitting beside each other, eating, chit-chatting. It wasn't a confrontation. She was just saying like, hey girl, I don't know what you did to the Laura girl, but she blowing your head top off. It wasn't a confrontation. So the way she's trying to boost it up is just crazy to me. And the way in the beginning of the episode, the way she talks about her husband is kind of a little bit cringe. She's like, you know, my husband's a 5-stage clinger, da 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 da. And I'm just like, girl, you really need to give better adjectives and for your husband, because it's not going well, right? But everyone at this point is talking about how Laura, this lady, is blasting Margaret. And at this point, y'all been talking about Laura for almost 10 episodes. Laura needs to be, she is an honorary housewife at this point, because why her name has been brought up more than anybody else's, literally. And we see in the after show as well that, you know, Margaret said she texted Laura, told her basically, you know, in the group chat that she's with her friends, like, you know, y'all are trying to take me down in my employment and this, that, and the third. You going to the girls how to start mess, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, she confronted her, but, you know, no response. So at the end of the episode, Teresa and Louis, they over here talking, and
He's going through something. It's inhibiting his ability to like approach things from a normalized
I wish
situation.
it wasn't happening right now. I wish, you know.
Yeah, but it's happening right now on purpose.
And Louis said, you know what, mask off. So Louis upset with the whole conversation, and he basically telling Teresa, you know, at this point, you know, I'm pissed off at your brother. Like, yo, your brother, you're such a nice woman, you're such a great mother, and he's giving her such like confidence. Like, you're all this positive affirmations and all this stuff, while simultaneously dissing on her brother. He's like, you're so great, your brother's trash. You're so good, but your brother's evil. You do nothing wrong, your brother do everything wrong. It's
At times naive, loving woman towards your brother, you know, like forgiving him and letting everything go, while he is gaslighting you, while he is manipulating you. And as a man in your life, I can't say I'd be around anymore.
It will fuck somebody's head up to make them think that they're in the right. Not saying that he's not trying to hold her accountable, none. He just like every responsibility that she had a part of this situation, he just making it seem like she has a none. And I'm just like, what in the world? So Teresa in her confessional, she was like, you know, I never seen Louis speak like this, but you know, if his sister was treating him like this, I'd be doing the same thing. Girl, that would have been a red flag for me, because you've been dating this person, and you know, they've been giving this whole namaste, and then all of a sudden now he just boom, angry. But he want to tell you that you need to calm down early in the season. You need to calm down. You need to stop yelling. You need to stop doing this. You need to stop doing all that. You need to control yourself. You need to go to therapy. All this, right? But this episode at the end and the next episode, the man is unhinged, and you try to fight. So it makes me realize, like, were we seeing his whole representative this whole time? Like, was that the real Louis that we were seeing, or is this the real Louis now, or this is just a part of his personality that comes out when he just mad, he just want to go off on people? That's why I tell people I don't like when people want to be fake and want to pump fake about who they are. Like, everybody gets mad, everybody got ups and downs, facts. But for y'all just be like, oh well, you know, I don't never get mad, I'm never like that. Louis just irritates me. And he was just talking about Joe just so nasty, and Melissa. He was like, I don't want them at the wedding. It is what it is. He like, I wouldn't. He's like a rat in the street. I'm just like, damn.
Throw around this pig of an energy. Like, I don't want him to the wedding. I don't want him even. I don't even want somebody wanted somebody wasting the flash in her camera on your brother and Melissa.
Then they talk about how Joe, Teresa's ex-husband, called Louis, like, you know, don't let them interfere in your marriage and your life, this, that, and the third. And Louis was like, if I was in a snake pit, would you pull me out? Teresa was like, yeah, I'll pull you out. He said, okay, I'm pulling you out, and we're gonna leave Melissa and Joe in there to get bit up by the snakes. I'm just like,
You saw me standing in a palace, in a snake pit. Would you pull me out of it?
Of course.
I'm pulling you out of the snake pit. Leave them in the snake pit.
it's that deep. It's that deep. Y'all, this episode just showed me a lot. Like, y'all are going ham on Twitter. Talking about Teresa's evil, Louis is evil. Like I said before, between the four of them, damn, you could add 5 with the other Joe. Between them, y'all cannot just say it's Teresa or Melissa. At this point, it's not just one or two. Both of them are at fault. The next episode, one thing I did not like is when Teresa was walking away, Melissa ran after her and chased after her. Now, Melissa, you gotta realize that somebody's trying to, disengage from the argument and she's walking away. Now, if Teresa would have come around and hit you in the face, that's really self-defense. She's walking away and you're approaching her and chasing after her. You saw what happened with Adriana and Joanna. I'm just saying. But y'all, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.